Welcome to the second lesson of Learn to Knit with May and Colleen. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May.
And I am teaching May how to knit. And in our last video, we learned how to do the long tail cast on. And so the homework was to put 40 stitches on your needle. And did you?
I did. It took me a little while, mind you, but I was able to get there.
Good. And it looks great.
Yeah, and once you got the rhythm of how to do that, casting on it, it came easier the more I did it.
Absolutely.
So by the end of it was so good. I got my 40 stitches on there.
Perfect. And I have 40 stitches on mine. So now we're going to actually learn how to do the knit stitch. And this is actually the only stitch you need to know to do the knitting part of this face cloth or dishcloth, whichever you'd like to do.
Okay.
Now, how you hold your yarn. First of all, you have to make sure that the yarn that you've got, that you're holding, is the one that's attached to the ball.
Okay.
So this is really important.
That is important.
Because if you're knitting with the other end, you're going to stop very short.
Okay.
Now, there's an English way to knit and a continental way to knit, and we're just going to learn how to knit the English way. I think that's going to be easier for May, and then after we may end up doing continental
some fancy
knitting.
stuff.
Some fancy stuff, but right now we're doing the basic. All right, so just double check. There is the tail end, there's the ball end, so that's what's going to be in my right hand. Now, there's the stitch, and that's where I'm going in. So I'm going to make an X. I go in from the front and make an X. Then I'm going to take this yarn, wrap it around the back needle. I'm going to pull it through and pop it off. So I'm going to put it in and make an X, wrap around the needle that I put through, so the back one, push it through, and take it off. So one more time, I'm going to stick it under the stitch at the front, push it through, so now I have my X. I'm going to wrap around the back, then I'm going to bring that needle back through, there it is, peeking out, and then just lift it off the needle. And that's how you knit.
Can I give it a try?
Absolutely. So we're going to
stick it in behind.
Yep. And make your X.
And make an X. And then wrap my yarn around.
Perfect. That looks great.
And then come underneath.
Pull it through and then take it off the needle.
I have to pull these down a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay. Pull it off.
Pull it off.
Good. Now you're going to want to tighten that up. That's it. Perfect.
All right. And then around again.
Mm-hmm. Around, very nice. Pull it through and off. Good. That looks fantastic.
Again.
Make your X. Go around the back. Come through and lift it off.
There we go.
Beautiful.
And I'll just continue to do that.
Absolutely.
Till you're done the row.
Exactly. Now, one thing that I would suggest, because we're new knitters, is that at the end of every row you count your stitches. First of all, it's good practice counting your stitches, and secondly, if you've lost something, you realize where you've lost it. All right. Yeah. So we're just knitting along. I'm knitting to the end, and then I want to show you what happens.
This is my first knit along.
It is your first knit along. So I'm just knitting. I've got one more stitch, and I'm at the end. Now, what I have to do is I have to rearrange everything in my hands. So what's on my right hand goes into my left hand, and my needle comes up, and now all I'm going to do is the same thing, go back the other way. So I'm going to make the X, wrap around, come back through. And I'm just going back the other way.
And you just keep doing this, Colleen, till?
Back and forth and back and forth. So just going to keep doing this. You're going to knit quite a bit. You want it to look like a square.
How many rows do you have to knit?
We're just going to keep knitting until you have a square. You need to have some yarn left because we need that yarn to do the cast off, which will be our next video. But you're just going to knit and knit and knit and knit. And by the end of this washcloth or dishcloth, you're going to know how to knit, no problem. I'm watching May. As soon as I'm not watching her, she goes much faster. So if I look at you, she's going to be able to do great guns. So we're just going to work through this, keep going, and then we'll see you again in video 3.